Welcome to this webinar series on San Antonio's Climate Action and Adaptation Plan. This series has been developed by the Office of Sustainability to support the launch and implementation of climate action within the city government and provides focus bursts on key topics related to climate action within San Antonio. This is the fourth session in the series and focuses on understanding the impact of future climate change on San Antonio. In other sessions, we talk about the sources and trends of the city's greenhouse gas emissions and the broader value to the city from taking action on reducing emissions and addressing climate hazards. This session provides an overview of future trends in climate change and how this may impact San Antonio, and what's at risk if we do nothing. We highlight some of the key climate hazards in San Antonio and consider how they may impact your day-to-day life, and describe strategies within the Climate Action and Adaptation Plan, or CAAP, that aim to reduce the impact of climate hazards. Our climate is changing. Even if all greenhouse gas emissions stopped today, we would still experience some degree of future climate change as the Earth's global temperature adjusts to the increased concentration of greenhouse gas emissions already in the atmosphere. The University of Texas at San Antonio projects that by 2040, the city will experience less rainfall, more hot days over 100 degrees, and an increase in maximum summer temperatures. That's 20 years from now, or right about when I'm hoping I'll retire. But what do these changes mean to you and the activities you like to do, the cost of your energy bills, and the experience of day-to-day life in the city? There will never be a better time to act on preparing for climate change. The strategies, behaviors, and investments we make today are the building blocks of the future, and we can already see the impact. Between 1980 and 2019, Texas and Florida experienced the most costly weather and climate disasters in the US. And in 2019 alone, climate and weather events cost an estimated $45 billion to US property and infrastructure. The trend is unmistakable. Records show a 275% increase in the frequency of billion-dollar disasters between 2016 and 2020 compared to a historic average. These climate hazards have real impacts to our city and our community, from our infrastructure and natural environment to the health and well-being of our people and the way we can enjoy our vibrant city and culture. This includes effects on human health from climate hazards such as extreme heat, increased ground level ozone and associated smog, and vector-borne disease. Disruption from impacts such as wildfire, flooding, and storms on our critical infrastructure, both man-made and natural, and impacts to our transportation and mobility systems, damage to buildings, and cost to our workforce as people may become unable to get to work, which can cause disruption to the economic growth and financial stability of our city and the businesses and residents that drive our economy. What do these impacts mean at a more personal level if we do nothing? From potentially fewer, less stable jobs and higher cost of cooling bills impacting the cost of living for residents, to effects on public and community health from respiratory illness due to unhealthy air quality, greater risk of heat-related illness and death, and also increased risk from vector-borne diseases, as tropical diseases may get a hold. Public safety is also at risk from the potential of property damage from severe weather, water stress, and higher transportation costs. But not everyone or every community is affected equally. Low-income and indigenous populations that are less likely to own homes or have health insurance face a greater burden of loss and disruption. And even basic services such as safe and reliable food supply are threatened by severe future climate change. So take a moment and think about the future. We know the climate is changing, and we know we increase our exposure if we do nothing. This paints a pretty gloomy picture, but the city's Climate Action and Adaptation Plan sets out a roadmap for action, and also a call to partnership across city departments, businesses, academia, community groups, individuals, and others to advance coordinated action to make the San Antonio of the future the city we love. Cities rely on the operation of a complex web of infrastructure, institutions, and information systems to perform the essential functions every day. Systems may be physical things such as energy infrastructure, roads and bridges, housing and shelter, or ecosystems, or they may be non-physical practices such as behavior, such as labor standards and legal rights, building codes and standards, culture, community cohesion, or social relationships. Cities have always faced risks, but as the world becomes increasingly interconnected and complex, and new disruptors such as climate change, demographic change, economic fluctuation, technology change, and the COVID-19 pandemic cause converging challenges, the resilience of cities depends on strengthening the capacities of individual systems in order to strengthen the city overall. The city's Climate Action and Adaptation Plan, SA Climate Ready, sets out nearly 90 strategies for the municipal government and community to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and adapt to the impacts of future climate change. The CAAP sets out a number of key actions within 7 broad strategies, focusing on increasing infrastructure resilience, strengthening public health systems, enhancing emergency management and community preparedness, promoting, restoring, and protecting green infrastructure and ecosystems, protecting local food security, increasing resilience awareness, and ensuring equity is central to climate adaptation action. You can access the CAAP online through this link or by searching for SA Climate Ready. You can also access more information and resources about what the city government is doing at www.sasustainability.com. Taking action to address the immediate impacts of climate hazards helps shore up emergency preparedness and protection against physical damage and human health risks from extreme weather events, but also promotes a range of other co-benefits. Regardless of the climate crisis, the coordinated planning, efficiencies, and relationships strengthened through integrated planning helps achieve a value through job creation and innovation, improved public health, synergies across sectors, and improved community connection. This associated value from investments in the economic growth of our city and well-being of our citizens is called the resilience dividend, and we take a closer look at this concept in another session. This session got into details on the city's greenhouse gas emissions, commitment to reduce emissions, and pathway to carbon neutrality. Other sessions in the series provides more information on the climate impacts the city faces today and in the future, the value of taking action, the city's commitment to climate equity, and how all city staff and departments can contribute to moving climate action forward in San Antonio. Thank you very much. For more information on this or any other session, please contact the Office of Sustainability in general through sustainability@sanantonio.gov, or you can contact Marie Myers, the Special Project Manager with the Office of Sustainability.